There's a link in the description to email the White House. You must email the White House and your federal and local congressmen and senators to preserve Social Security and enhance it, and make it more robust and secure into the future. Are you concerned about the future of Social Security? In this video, we will discuss the Social Security threats posed by the Speaker of the House's actions. But first, let's explain how Congress works. In Washington, D.C., the Capitol Building stands as a central hub of American governance. The Capitol Building houses Congress, a key institution in American democracy. Congress is divided into two chambers, the House of Representatives and the Senate. The House has 435 members and is known for its active and dynamic environment. The Senate, with its 100 members, is generally more reserved and deliberative. Both chambers are essential for creating laws that impact all Americans. From taxes to healthcare, legislative decisions begin here. So, how does the lawmaking process work? Let's explore the procedures involved in making laws. Imagine a bill is like a hopeful intern, eager to climb the corporate ladder and become a law. Just like an intern, it starts with a lot of potential but needs guidance and support to make it through the process. First, someone has to have the bright idea for this bill. It could be a flash of inspiration or a well-thought-out plan. This could be anyone from your average Joe to a congressperson with ambitions grander than a Kardashian wedding. Ideas can come from personal experiences, public needs, or even a desire to make a mark on history. Once the idea is out there, it gets drafted into an actual bill. This is where the real work begins, transforming a concept into a formal proposal. Think of this as the bill's awkward teenage phase, full of confusing jargon and grammatical errors. It needs to be polished and refined before it can move forward. Next, the bill is introduced in either the House or the Senate, depending on who's feeling more welcoming that day. This is its first step into the legislative world. Then, it's off to the committees. These are specialized groups that handle different areas of policy. These are like smaller groups within Congress that focus on specific issues. They have the expertise to scrutinize the bill in detail. They dissect the bill, poke holes in it, and maybe even give it a makeover or completely dismantle it. This is a critical stage where many bills meet their end. If the bill survives the committees, it's finally ready for the big leagues. A floor debate. This is where it faces the entire legislative body. This is where things get heated, with politicians arguing for and against the bill like their lives depend on it. Every word is scrutinized, and every point is contested, making it a true test of the bill's viability.
If our little bill friend manages to win over both the House and the Senate, it's time for the final boss, the President of the United States. This is where things get really interesting. The President gets to review the bill and decide whether it deserves a place in the hallowed halls of law. This is a critical moment as the President's decision can make or break the bill's future. If they're on board, they sign it and boom, it's official. We've got ourselves a shiny new law. This is a moment of celebration for everyone who supported the bill. But if the President isn't feeling it, they can whip out their veto pen and strike that bill down like a gavel on a judge's bench. This action sends a strong message that the bill isn't up to par. Veto power is a big deal, folks. It's a way for the President to say, "Hold your horses, Congress, I don't think so." This power ensures that the President has a significant role in the legislative process. Of course, Congress can try to override the veto, but that requires a 2/3 majority vote in both the House and the Senate. This is no easy feat and requires a lot of support. It's like trying to convince your cat to take a bath. Possible, but highly unlikely. The odds are definitely not in favor of an override. So, yeah, the President has some serious sway in this whole lawmaking shebang. Their decision can shape the future of the nation, making the role of the President crucial in the legislative process.
Now, sometimes, a bill is so important, so utterly crucial, that Congress needs a way to bypass the usual red tape and procedural hurdles that can slow down the legislative process. Enter the discharge petition, the legislative equivalent of cutting the line at Disneyland, but with far more significant consequences for the nation. It's a way for a majority of the House to say, "Hey, Mr. Speaker, we're tired of waiting. Let's vote on this thing." This tool empowers the members to take control when they feel an issue is being unjustly delayed. See, the Speaker of the House gets to decide which bills make it to the floor for a vote, wielding significant power over the legislative agenda. Usually this isn't a problem, but sometimes the Speaker, cough, cough, Mike Johnson cough, might have different priorities than the rest of the House, leading to frustration among the members. That's where the discharge petition comes in handy. It allows members to bypass the Speaker's control and bring a bill directly to the floor. It's like a little-known backdoor into the House floor, allowing a majority of members to force a vote on a bill, even if the Speaker would rather see it gather dust in a filing cabinet somewhere. This mechanism ensures that critical legislation can still move forward. And guess what? This isn't some dusty old relic of a bygone era. It's a living, breathing part of our legislative process. It's happening right now, folks, with a bill that could dramatically impact Social Security. This shows how discharge petitions remain relevant and vital in addressing urgent issues that affect millions of Americans.
Section 5, Johnson and the threat to Social Security. Remember Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House we mentioned earlier? Well, he's been sitting on a bill that would close loopholes in Social Security. These loopholes are like those sneaky extra charges on your cable bill, designed to take more of your money without you noticing. Closing them would mean more money in the pockets of retirees, which, let's face it, is a good thing for everyone. Except apparently for Mike Johnson. He's been dragging his feet, refusing to bring the bill to a vote. Now, we're not saying he's actively trying to dismantle Social Security, but we're also not saying that. Either way, his inaction is a clear and present danger to the millions of Americans who rely on Social Security to make ends meet. Thankfully, some brave souls in Congress are fighting back, and they're bringing receipts.
Section 6. A bipartisan stand for security. In a political landscape that's more divided than a Thanksgiving dinner with your conspiracy theorist uncle, there's a glimmer of hope. Representatives Abigail Spanberger and Garrett Graves, a Democrat and a Republican, gasp, are teaming up to save Social Security. They're the ones who introduced the bill to close those pesky loopholes. They're the ones who are tired of seeing retirees get the short end of the stick. And they're the ones leading the charge with this whole discharge petition thing. It's a classic tale of David versus Goliath, except instead of a slingshot, they're wielding procedural know-how. And instead of a giant, it's still a giant. But this time, the giant is bureaucratic inertia and a speaker who seems to have forgotten who he works for: the American people.
Section 7. Looking ahead, the Jeffries era. The battle over Social Security isn't just about one bill or one speaker, it's about the future of Congress and the balance of power within it. Hakeem Jeffries is waiting in the wings, ready to take the gavel as the next Speaker of the House. The question is, will he be more receptive to the will of the people than his predecessor? Will he prioritize the needs of everyday Americans over partisan politics? Only time will tell, but the discharge petition saga offers a glimpse into what might be in store. If Jeffries is smart, he'll learn from Johnson's mistakes. He'll see that the House is not a dictatorship, and that even the Speaker can be overruled by the collective will of its members. The discharge petition is a powerful tool, but it's also a symbol. It's a reminder that Congress is ultimately accountable to the people, not the other way around.
Section 8. 218 voices. A chorus of change. Remember that magic number, 218? That's how many signatures are needed on a discharge petition to force a vote in the House. It represents a majority of its members, a united front against inaction and obstruction. Each signature is a voice, a declaration that enough is enough. It's a testament to the power of grassroots activism and the importance of holding elected officials accountable. When 218 members of Congress band together, they can move mountains. Or, at least get a bill onto the floor for a vote, which, in the current political climate, is basically the same thing. The discharge petition is a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, change is still possible. But it's not enough to just sit back and watch. We, the people, have a role to play in this fight.
Section 9, the People's House, the People's Fight. The fight for Social Security is our fight. It's the fight for our parents, our grandparents, and let's face it, our future selves. We can't rely on politicians alone to protect it. We need to make our voices heard. We need to demand action. Call your representatives, write letters, organize protests, do whatever it takes to get their attention. Remind them that they work for us, not the other way around. The future of Social Security depends on it.
Section 10, what you can do. Join the movement. Want to stay informed about the fight for Social Security and other crucial issues affecting your life? Subscribe to American Northwest Magazine. We'll keep you up to date on the latest developments in Congress, break down complex political jargon into bite-sized pieces, and provide you with the tools you need to make your voice heard.
Section 11, support us. Knowledge is power. Your support helps us continue to deliver the high-quality journalism that keeps you informed and empowered. Consider supporting American Northwest Magazine through our affiliate links. Every click makes a difference because knowledge is power, folks, and together we can make a difference.